Hello fellow gamers, I have another video card in front of us today. This is the XFX SWIFT AMD Radeon RX 9070 OC White Triple Fan Gaming Edition video card. I am going to explore this video card with you today. Hello fellow gamers, this is Brent Justice at the FPS Review, and I hope you're having a great day. This is another XFX SWIFT series video card, specifically the white-themed triple fan gaming edition of the Radeon RX 9070 GPU series. Now, when this launched, this had an MSRP of $549. Now, we do have a full review on our website at the FPS Review. There is a link in the description for that full review. Check it out for gaming benchmarks, overclocking, power, temperature, and our summary. So this is in XFX SWIFT class line of video cards. That is its mainstream or entry level. We have in fact looked at another XFX SWIFT video card in the Radeon 9070 XT, and it in fact looks exactly similar to this video card. They look, well, identical. One is a 9070 XT, this one the 9070. We do have a video on that, and so if you're seeing this video card thinking, well, I've seen that before, it is because they do look identical other than the GPU inside. So what's interesting about that is in XFX's SWIFT series, the 9070 XT did not have factory overclock options. However, here in the Radeon RX 9070 series from XFX, in its SWIFT lineup, there is nothing but factory overclock options. In fact, there is one overclock option in the SWIFT series. This video card comes in two different color themes. There is this white themed version and then a black themed version, but both have the same factory overclock and design and cooling. That means that this does have a factory overclock and will run faster than a reference spec RX 9070, and that is the only option in the SWIFT lineup from XFX. Also, triple fan design. Let's talk a little bit about the Radeon RX 9070 GPU before we dive into this video card specifically. Just some quick specifications, and I'll put them up on the screen. The Radeon RX 9070 GPU sits under the Radeon RX 9070 XT. It is based on the RDNA 4 architecture, the Navi 48 GPU. It has 56 compute units, 3,584 shading units. The default GPU boost clock is 2520 megahertz, has 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 at 20 gigabits per second on a 256-bit bus, giving it 644 gigabytes a second of bandwidth and a 220 watt TDP. But now let's talk specifically about this one in front of us, because this one goes a little bit above and beyond. This one, the XFX 9070 White Triple Edition Gaming OC, has a factory overclock. XFX has boosted the boost clock on this up to 2700 megahertz. So that compares to the reference of 2520. That is a 7% clock speed factory overclock out of the box, out of the gate, without you having to do anything. It comes with that. It also has three, we'll look at the ports here. We've got 3 DisplayPort and 1 HDMI. So 3 DisplayPort, 1 HDMI for configuration. And then we also have 2 standard 8-pin power connectors. Now, because this is a slightly factory overclocked video card, XFX does recommend a minimum of an 800 watt power supply. And this is based on the PCI Express 5.0 by 16 connector. So you get full bandwidth on this video card. So those are the basic specs. It is a 16 gigabyte video card. Memory runs at reference, but it is that game clock and boost clock that is boosted on this video card. So now that we have looked at the overall specifications of the video card, let's talk about measurements because this is a rather larger video card. So let's bring out our measuring tape here and we will take a look at the measurements. So according to XFX's website, this has a 12.8 inch length. So if we measure just to the shroud, we actually get 12.5 inches on our ruler here. But if we go from the I/O shield, yes, it is a little over 12.5. So XFX has 12.8. So definitely give yourself a little bit of wiggle room there. 13 inches is about what you would want on the length to fit this video card. Now on the width, it is 5.91 inches according to XFX's website. And if we come to the shroud, just the shroud itself, it's about 4.5. Of course, that does not account for, you know, the connector and all of this down here. But I'm getting about 4.5 there on the width. It does extend beyond the I/O bracket here. So we have a little bit of, let's see how much we have here. It looks like we've got, I would say 1.25 inches coming off of the I/O bracket. So that's going to be sticking out of, you know, the edge of your I/O shield like this, like so. It'll be installed in the computer and then it sticks out, yeah, that much, about that much from where it would be in your slot there. So make sure you have enough room in front of it for that. Now in terms of height, it is also a larger than a 2.5 slot video card. Technically it is a 3.5 slot, or yeah, 3.5 slot video card. 2.56 inches according to XFX's website. And yeah, if we go from the bottom of the I/O bracket, yes, I am getting over 2.5 for sure on that. So it is quite thick there. I would say 2.56, definitely a little over 2.5 there. So the thickness of this, it is pretty thick. It has a lot of metal heatsink on the back there. So make sure you have enough room in your case for this video card. Also, in terms of weight, it is just over 5 pounds. So over 5 pounds, it is a chunky video card. Now, how is all of that achieved? What are the features that make it so? Well, obviously it is a white design. As we can see, there is a black theme version as well. This is a triple fan configuration, and it's in the name, 3 fans. This is XFX's Ghost Thermal Cooling Solution. It has an air pass-through on the back. So this is fully ventilated on the back side. This fan here just has full air that can come all the way through, non-obstructed, nothing blocking the air. It's just all heat sink. This is just an open cutout on the full metal backplate. Probably can't hear it in the video, but that is a full metal backplate right there. And it doesn't completely connect to the back side of the video card. It is a separate piece. So the top plastic shroud is a separate piece of the full metal backplate. The back of the GPU is covered by it. We have a large aluminum heatsink here. And this does have a nickel-plated cold plate with direct contact to VRM's memory and GPU. It has large heat pipes that are on the backside here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 large heat pipes. So this thing is really configured. Heat pipes on the front side as well. Several looping through in the front. XFX is proud to say that it has the PTM 7950 thermal interface material on this video card as well. And it does have a dual BIOS switch. This does have a dual BIOS. Now the default dual BIOS on it is the same, but it does have a dual BIOS switch, so it has that feature supported on it. You will also notice it has an XFX LED white logo. This is not RGB, it is static white, and you cannot turn it off. There's no hardware feature to turn that off. The cooling is very robust. The PCB is rather short, so it's not a full-length PCB as far as the heatsink goes. It does into here, which means there is literally, I actually want to measure it and see how much heatsink between here and 4 inches. There is 4 inches of heatsink coming past the PCB, providing the cooling there. So this Radeon RX 9070 will be cooled very well with this. It also has a flared out design, spoiler-esque on the back side, where it has that swooping design in your case. The PCB is not white, but the rest of the video card is. So that is very nice. And as for cooling exhaust, all of your hot air comes out the top or the bottom. Nothing will come out the back side of the I/O. It is cut off there. It is just the heat sink there. In fact, you can easily see inside of it. It is real easy to see right inside, and very, very open. So the fans hovering over the heat sink will give it plenty of space, non-obstructed space for the air to just kind of flow out all over the place on this. So nothing is obstructed there, and it has plenty of airflow. So that is pretty much a look at this one. Again, this is exactly the same design and look as the Radeon RX 9070 XT. This one is just using the 9070 GPU. And again, what's interesting is in the 9070 XT series from XFX in the Swift series, there are no factory overclock options. However, in the 9070 series, they are all overclock options. So that is a little interesting. Running at 2700 megahertz boost clock, or up to 2700 megahertz, this does perform better than a reference Radeon RX 9070 out of the box. You can read our review for that performance, but I will just say it is very competitive because of that factory overclock. So a few more things about it. We did overclock it in our testing. It did not manage a large overclock over what it already is at. We got about up to a 3% higher clock speed on it, maybe 60 to 100 megahertz higher at most. But consider it's already 7% overclocked from the reference clock speed to begin with. In terms of temperature, this cooled very well. We had a 58C GPU temperature, hotspot of 74C, and a memory at 82C. The GPU ran very cool. We tested power on this at a higher 247 watts. So that is higher than the reference 9070 TDP of 220 watts. Again, because of the factory overclock on this, the power target is a little higher, and it does run higher in power. So you are going to see over 220 watts with this factory overclocked model, 247 in our testing. And so just be prepared for that. XFX does recommend an 800 watt power supply for this, but make sure that you're geared for about 250 watt range GPUs for this one in your build. Again, the MSRP when this launched was $549. However, pricing from AMD Radeon 4 GPUs has been rather high since then. It has not maintained that MSRP level. It has been above that. At the current time of this video, here in June of 2026, the price range of this is above $600, around the $640 range for this white themed version. That, of course, can and will change over time, so make sure to check online for the latest prices at the time of your watching this. But that is it for this video card. I just wanted to show it to you, explore it, take a look at it, because it is similar to the other XFX 9070 XT card. Overall, it is, I would say, possibly a little bit overbuilt for what you need out of a 9070, but it does have the factory overclock, which does give it an advantage against the competition, pretty much taking it to the height of 9070 performance. So that's it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like what you see here, consider giving the video a like, subscribing to the channel for more videos like this, and I hope you have a very blessed day. Thank you, and stay tuned for the next one.